To make shortbread biscuits, into a bowl I put 50 grams caster sugar, 150 of plain flour and 100 of butter. The butter's been out of the fridge a little while, so it's not too solid. I'm going to mix them together, and then I'm going to dice up the butter as if we were doing a rubbed in mixture for a pastry or crumble. And then I'm going to rub it in exactly the same, but because there's a higher proportion of butter, it's going to start to come together as a dough. So keep going past the crumbly stage until you end up with a solid dough. So get your hands into the mixture and start rubbing it in. It'll take about 5 minutes. Once you finish rubbing in, it will start to come together into a lump of dough. Use one hand to squeeze it all together. You can then bring it out of the bowl and shape it into a lump on the worktop. Make sure that's clean and dry. And we're aiming at a log that can be sliced into biscuits. So once you've got that nice and tidy, we're going to wrap it in cling film, chill it until we're ready to start slicing it. So once the dough has chilled, it should be quite solid, and you can slice it with a sharp knife, ready to put onto a baking tray. So lay them all out on your tray and they're ready for 10 to 15 minutes in the oven until they're golden. When they come out of the oven, they should be a light golden brown. Leave them on the tray to cool. In about 10 minutes or so, they should be quite firm. They will be quite soft while they're hot, so don't be tempted to move them too soon. I'm going to decorate these with a little bit of melted chocolate. So I've just got 4 squares of cooking chocolate. So I'm going to chop it up. You could use any chocolate or chocolate chips. So just the smaller you chop it, the faster it's going to melt. That goes into a disposable piping bag. You can melt it in a bowl over a pan of simmering water, but for such a small amount this is easier. And I'm going to dip that into a cup of boiling water and leave it for a few minutes until it melts. So that's taken about 2 or 3 minutes to melt. So I'm going to take it out of the water, dry the bag. I've knotted it so that it can't come up on all of your hands. Then snip a tiny bit off the end with the scissors. Hold and squeeze the thick end and just drizzle it over your biscuit. And if you go from one to the next, it's quite quick and easy to do. You could write names, you could do designs if you want to, but this is really easy. And every now and then just squeeze the bag down. Hold the hole upright while you're doing that so you don't get it all over your hand. Just going to leave this to set. If you wanted to sprinkle it with anything, you could do that while the chocolate's wet. It'll stick. As you can see, that 4 squares chocolate is plenty. Goes quite a long way. If you want to use up what's left, you could go back over some in the other direction. Leave them to set, not in the fridge, just to give them half an hour or so, they should firm up.